Hello, and welcome to page 48 of Volume 2 of my graphic novel of comic strips titled Found Earth. Thanks for joining us. I had started off with a different idea talking about splash pages and special occasions and big events, but I had a conversation with an old classmate from college, and then it was brought up again during a conversation with my daughter. It was about bedtime. We tend to have small conversations about big topics, actually, right before bed. It's the one time we get one-on-one time, and they can ask questions about whatever they want and talk about whatever they want and bring up things that have been bothering them, either that day or just in general. And she brought up that she was having trouble getting to sleep. And it's understandable. From time to time, people have trouble sleeping and so on, but it called to mind a conversation I had with somebody that I went to college with. She now has a young son, and she was frazzled because her son was not easily going to sleep at night. And so I shared with her the routine, because they had some similar medical conditions. Shared with her the routines that we had, that we maintained, that we ingrained into our kids growing up when they were little. And we talked about how the routine gradually made their world smaller, so that there was less of it, and less chaos, and less world in their world at that point. So you say goodnight to everybody not involved in the routine, and it becomes a little smaller, and then you brush your teeth, and it's one thing down, and then we go into the bedroom and we close the door, and the world gets a little smaller. And then we pick up our room a little bit, and it gets a little smaller and neater and organized. And then we climb on the bed, and it gets a little smaller. And we read some books, and the world gets a little smaller. And then we put the books away, and the world gets even smaller. And then it's just me or the parent and the child, and the world is just two people. And you talk about things, and you connect, and you forget the rest of the world outside of the bed exists, or outside the window, or outside the door. And then all you have is yourself and the child, and there's no books, and you have the conversation, you make the connection, and then you take a few moments to say your prayers, or you meditate, and now the child is slowing down even more, and it's more just the child. And then you say goodnight, and you turn off the lights, and the world is tiny and calm, and the child is able to relax and sleep. We did that routine every night with each child, and it's a calming and it's a gradual thing. And once a kid gets used to it, they go to sleep so easy. They want that routine. And, excuse me. They want that routine, and it calms them, and it gives them security. And with her complaining about not being able to go to sleep, we both realized that we had gotten out of the routine, and she had not carried on her own routine of making the world smaller and smaller and smaller. And so we talked about that. And I think that this this concept of making the world small around yourself and calming yourself, I think, is one of the most important things that we can teach kids. Because in this internet age, in this age of all the information all the time, everything's going on, everything's awake, somebody's always posting something, I think the ability to calm yourself, it's huge. It's probably one of the most important life skills we can teach these kids. The ability to shut out what's going on so that you can focus and you can do what you need to do and get done. I think that, and full disclosure, I'm no child psychologist. I just raise kids, okay? I've raised my kids. I've had a foster child. You've had, I had some education, some college education for education. So I've had classes here and there, but I'm no expert. I'm just sharing what I think. Full disclosure. But I think that being able to shut out a lot of the chaos and being able to calm yourself, easy top 10 life skill you need to learn. And I think it's extra important with all this anxiety that's going on. You see kids, they're anxious all the time. They don't know how to cope with the constant feed of the world and everything. So I think that as parents, this one's for the parents. Or for you kids when you get to become parents. I think the ability to calm yourself and figure out how to do that. And I've found that it's through routine and by gradually making your world smaller. It brings peace and it allows you to cope. And that's just my philosophy. That's what I found works for me and for kids that I have had the pleasure of raising or taking care of. It's worked every time. And when the routine goes away, that's when the kids start having trouble and things go downhill. That's my thoughts. I'll probably write more. I had a whole different concept. I may write more of that in the written commentary on www.patreon.com/Alan Dunlap. If you're a patron, you get access to the written commentary as well. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. It makes me happy to share my stuff. It makes me happy if you enjoy it. If you feel like you can contribute to Patreon, go right ahead. If you can't, don't worry about it. It's okay. I want to thank Amanda Elkins for being a patron, and I want to thank Joe Lambden for being a patron. You've both been with me for a while, and I really appreciate it. You're keeping the lights on, you're keeping the supplies coming, and you're boosting my ego, and I'm grateful for that. The first two. The third one, I'll try not to be dangerous. And there's music and credits at about the 7-minute mark. Go listen to their stuff. It's great. Yeah, I guess I'll talk to you next week. Have fun, enjoy, share with your friends, pass it on. I hope this information and this discussion was helpful. All right.